Welcome to Just Koryzma, episode 62. I'm your host, Braden Koryzma, and joining me today is Micki Findlay. How are you?
I'm good, Braden. Thanks for having me today.
No problem. So Micki has started this organization called Works of Heart, and basically they're promoting kindness, we're basically above all, and just trying to spread it and, get more out there instead of just, a lot of the negativity that really is out there.
Yes, exactly. It just seems like, Braden, right now, our world is becoming more and more divisive.
For sure.
Right? And to me, language is so important because often we think about political correctness, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I used to think, political correctness, right? But you know what? There is something to that because language is so important. If we start calling, for instance, immigrants illegals, instead of people, right? Then you start to look at them as lesser than.
Totally, when they're really not. Everyone's equal, right? That's the whole point of everyone being there's their own person just because they come from different areas, different backgrounds, or whatever it may be. No one should be treated any lesser because they are not the same as you.
Exactly, Braden. Yeah, and so I guess that's really the gist of this is so we take... what we do is we try and inspire kindness. So,
absolutely.
And also celebrate diversity and challenge bullying and racism.
Which is awesome.
Right? Because I want a world that I want my grandkids to live in and be safe and happy and have a good attitude towards their fellow man instead of just, being afraid of somebody that just because they're different or from another country or...
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. They shouldn't be if no one needs to be bullied because then there's nothing worse than being scared to leave your house because of what someone did to you, and that's just not fair. That's just taking away happiness from somebody.
It is.
Everyone deserves to live life to the fullest.
Exactly.
And just enjoy it because we're not here forever.
No.
And it'd be better. The better that your ride be happier than not.
I like what you said about us not living forever because I think I'm an idealist, right?
Totally.
And I really believe that I'm on this earth for that short time for a reason. And I think that I need to look at my creative talents, for instance, and say, okay, what can I do with those? How can I use them to inspire others to be kinder and to build bridges to people instead of putting up walls? So I just want to take whatever I've been given, or whatever gifts I've been given, to make a difference in the world while I'm here.
Of course, yeah.
I'm 63 years old. I don't know how long I'm going to live.
Hope for a long time, right? But absolutely, some people who don't. There's people who don't make it past 20. There's people who don't make it past 40, and it's just you don't know how long you're going to be here for, so you might as well make the best of it while you're here.
Absolutely. What concerns me too, Braden, is the fact that kids can't get away from bullying anymore. I mean, it used to be...
Yeah, I guess, with electronics and everything,
exactly.
It's way harder to escape it, especially with social media. It's just boom, you send the one thing and then it's just everyone's seen it and then it's just you can't run away. It's not when you guess my parents were kids or when you were younger, people would fight, they would, do whatever they had to do, but then typically it's dealt with.
Yeah.
Or you don't have to worry about running into said bully, not just have him attack you from social media or whatever.
Yes, and physically maybe, but yeah, kids can't get away from it anymore, and that's horrible.
Totally.
Right? It's horrible. It's shaming. It's demeaning, and I don't understand it personally. I think that a lot of these kids that are bullying, perhaps they are bullied as well.
Yeah,
right?
It's just not
at home or wherever.
Totally, right? It could be that, they're upset, so they just take their frustrations out on someone else but they don't know how to express it, or they don't know what to do, so I guess if it were coming from home, they just reacting elsewhere, so then it's
acting out.
Yeah, acting out, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's hard to you can't blame the person for bullying, but at the same time they should know better.
They have to. Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, so works of art, how it all started is I was driving to work one day. I used to work at the Sally-Ann, but I'm retired now.
Nice.
And you know what they say, you're never busier as when you retire. It's so true.
That's what I hear.
So, anyway, I was driving to work and I just, I was so, I'll be really honest with you. I try not to bring politics into works of art because I don't want to put walls up between people.
For sure.
But my, what this came from was my horror of what was happening in the States and the divisiveness and the racial slurs and
Totally.
so many things I was seeing that was really upsetting me.
Yeah, like it's very like, it was very like, they were so blunt about it, and it was just like, why? Like.
And fear.
Totally, there's so much fear.
Right, because we hear about the few. We hear about the few extremists, and people start thinking, oh my God, they're all terrorists or they're all whatever.
Yeah.
And the same with the immigrants. They're all illegals. Well, they're not. For one thing, it's not illegal to look for asylum for your family, for one thing.
Right.
So for me, I was so upset and so angry, and I was ranting on Facebook about it. I still do once in a while, I have to admit. And I thought, well, I don't even know if this is even doing any good. Probably not. Gets it off my chest, but I don't know.
But yeah, like you're wondering if it's like people are scrolling and actually reading it, or if they're just like, I'm not, like if they're not going to take the time of day or whatever. Yeah.
Or whatever, yeah. And so I was driving to work and I suddenly got this idea. I thought, okay, I'm going to have to find a way to combat all these things that are bothering me in a positive way.
Absolutely.
And actually it was a family friend that suggested to me that I find a positive way, because she was noticing all the rants and I thought, I'm gonna start something. And I thought, what can I do? I don't feel particularly intelligent. I'm certainly no genius, but I am creative. I've got that going.
And that goes a long way.
Sure, right? Yeah. So what can I do? And I thought, well, I'll take my creative talents and I'll use them for positive change. So I gathered together. Somebody said, there was a quote actually I saw somewhere, and it said, if you want to accomplish something great, then get a whole bunch of people around you that are more intelligent than you. So I thought, okay, that makes sense. So I called a bunch of people, emailed them or whatever that I knew, and said, I'm going to have a brainstorming meeting, and I need your help. And so our first meeting was 15 people at Serious Coffee in Parksville.
Oh wow, that's a pretty good like get together.
Like, I was surprised actually that many came. Oh, you actually coming? Okay. So we brainstormed a name. We brainstormed just a sort of an oversight of everything, like how could we get started. And it kind of went from there. So our very first public display was we formed a huge human heart for anti-bullying.
Oh yeah, okay.
Out of people, right?
That's cool.
Yeah, and we found a field in Parksville, and people wore pink, and we just formed this huge human heart, and it was. For us, we got we had Shaw come down and
nice.
BQ News, the mayor, and a bunch of people, and just to say, hey, you know what? You're not alone. If you're bullied, you're not alone.
Absolutely.
We're here,
like,
right?
Like, don't be afraid to reach out. Like I think that's the hardest thing for people who are being bullied or anything like that, or face discrimination, is that they just they don't feel like they have anywhere to go to, and then it obviously it just keeps happening, and then nothing changes, right?
Exactly. I'm an adult, and it happened to me. I was going to barbering school, one of many things I've done and didn't follow through. I finished, did well, but decided I hated cutting hair.
Fair enough.
So I cut my own, that's it. But my husband's. But while I was there was a lady there that was so awful, and she was just a bully. But and I'm sensitive, right? Really am. I am not a tough cookie whatsoever. I'm a baby. So this really upset me. And a counselor came to our classroom, and she said, if any of you are having issues at all, whatever, you can come to me. I didn't do it. And you know why? Because I was an adult. And I thought, I'm an adult. I should be able to deal with this on my own.
Right.
But next thing I know, I can't sleep.
Right, and because it's just bothering you so much.
So anxious. So it isn't just in schools. It's in workplaces.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
Like you could just literally be walking down the street and then it could happen, right? Like
Absolutely.
It's unfortunately unavoidable, but like, it's the thing is there's obviously, you just hope that it doesn't happen.
Well, I talked to another lady actually just the other day, and she said she was bullied so badly at work that she had to quit. And she had to go back to get a check or something, I don't remember what it was. But she went even just to turn the doorknob of that workplace.
And just like it all came rushing back.
Yes, it was like PTSD.
I believe it. Just like, and then because she'll never have a good memory of that place now. Like whenever she returns, it'll just be like, if she ever sees it or something, it'll just be like an immediate rush of like, just horrible feelings, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's just a reality. And I think because we're on the island, we're kind of sheltered from a lot of it because you don't hear much, you don't see much of it.
Yeah, like I get what you're saying.
Right?
Because we're so much smaller than like places, just bigger cities. Like we were talking about earlier, Vancouver, where there's just so many more people, so it's a lot easier probably to notice.
I think so. And I follow the American politics quite a bit, and partly because I have family there as well. And so you hear a lot more of it out of the States, I guess. But it is here, and often it's really hidden. And we just want to take our creativity, whatever it is that we do well, whether it's maybe you're a painter, for instance.
Right.
We had our first Works of Heart show.
That's cool.
And invited all kinds of different artists, and they painted, sculpted, whatever, anything that celebrated diversity.
For sure.
Multiculturalism, kindness, and it was beautiful. It was just beautiful. We had a video that I created for it.
Oh, cool.
With the song I wrote.
Yep.
We had a huge wall that was set up in the Nanaimo Arts Council.
Oh, nice.
And that's where it was, the Nanaimo Arts Council. They collaborated with Works of Heart. And we had a big wall set up with a big canvas. So anybody could come off the street and paint something that involved something from their heart.
Totally.
Right? So they could be a part of that, of the show. So, which is important because it's about inclusivity, right?
Absolutely.
Is that a word? Inclusivity?
I think so.
Inclusiveness? You know what I mean.
Yeah, I get it.
Whatever. But no, and we had multicultural kind of music playing when people walked in, and it really did my heart good. So I guess I'm an inspirer. I hope I am. I want to inspire people. I want this to take off all over the world. People inspired to use their talents to speak up. Peaceful activism, that's a huge thing for me. That's my passion, actually.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Like, I'm sure, yeah, like, I get protesting and everything, but it's always, you only hear about the stuff where people are getting hurt or people are, it's always like worst case scenario type things.
Yeah, and I believe you can do the same thing peacefully and creatively.
I'm sure, like,
right?
Yeah, like,
I think there's a place for both. There are times when I think you absolutely have to stand up for, like the Women's March was, to me, was very important. And to see so many thousands upon thousands of women standing up and saying, no, we have rights. We need to be treated with respect. So I think there are times when, Martin Luther King, for instance, Jr.,
exactly.
right? He had to speak up for blacks because of all the awful things that were happening to them. They were treated they were treated badly because of language. They were, how can I put that? It was like they were not human.
Yeah,
right.
Like they were treated like a dog or
exactly.
I guess
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but
probably worse than most people treat their dogs.
Probably. I mean, I'm assuming people treat their dogs pretty good.
I would think so.
Yeah. So, but yeah.
But dehumanizing
absolutely.
a segment of society, that's where the danger is, and I'm seeing this happen more and more now, and that's where I want to bring the language back to. This is a human being. This person has feelings. They have black skin. So what? They're from Syria. So what? They're human. They have feelings.
Absolutely.
And they're just like us.
Totally. So then, what? I know you had your painting shop. So what else are you guys working on to kind of whatever events or whatever? What else are you trying to do to kind of promote and spread the message?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Braden. We are on March 22nd. At Ground Zero Acoustic Lounge in Parksville from 2 to 4 p.m. We are having a concert that is called Heart Song for Humanity.
Okay.
And we have two amazing bands, Terrazzetto, which you may have heard about in Nanaimo.
Okay.
And Sweet Santa Fe from Comox. Headliners, really.
Nice.
And very multicultural, world music, beautiful stuff. We have Doug Picard of Ground Zero. He runs the place. He's actually going to have a drum circle where everybody can get involved.
Oh, cool. That'll be fun.
It'll be really fun. Yeah. I'll be singing the song I wrote with Terrazzetto.
Nice.
They recorded it for me. And
oh, perfect.
So, yeah.
That's nice.
But we'll have a spoken word artist, Susan Peterson, who is brilliant. And we'll have a silent auction as well, which starts at 1 o'clock.
Oh yeah, okay.
But it is a fundraiser, but that's not the
primary focus. No. The focus is everyone understanding the message and then taking it with them. It's kind of like paying it forward, right?
Exactly.
You want them to take that message, be super happy, super awesome, and then just continue to spread it in hopes it would, eventually, that's all you see.
Exactly. And that's what I'm hoping from that is that people see this and say, okay, I want to do this too. Maybe I can do it in my city.
Yeah, totally, right? Yeah, it doesn't have to just be this town. It can be, it'd be great if you could, start with the island and then just keep working your way outward and
absolutely.
Till, eventually that's...
I'd like to go on the road, but I think I'm getting too old for that.
Well, I mean, I think you could get to Vancouver.
I could probably make it that far.
Yeah, I think so. So that'd be cool. I mean, at least that way, it's going to be I would assume a bigger event. So hopefully, tons of people show up, and I can only anticipate nothing but smiles and fun.
I'm sure, and what I'm hoping too, Braden, is that this will be the seed that starts it all.
Totally.
Right, and then maybe next year, what we could do is find a bigger venue, even invite all kinds of, maybe have. Parksville Multicultural Day, for instance. I went to my first one last year.
Okay.
And it was lovely because you had different kinds of foods. You met people. I met a beautiful Syrian family that were just so kind and so lovely. They were brought over by somebody that was there at multicultural event, and just he basically made it possible for them to come over. And
that's cool.
Because they were coming from horrible...
Oh, I'm sure.
Horrible.
Yeah, I'm sure their previous situation was probably astronomically worse.
These people lose their homes. They lose their jobs.
Yeah.
Many of them are in total danger of getting killed. They've had family members killed, and sometimes because we're not in that, I think we forget or not completely aware of the horror that some of these people are coming from.
Yeah. So,
I don't know, I just have a soft spot for what they go through. I get that the immigration thing is a huge, huge issue, but they need to be treated like human beings, and
totally,
that's just compassion.
Absolutely. They definitely, it's always weird because it's always such a hairy topic depending on who you talk to, and it'd just be nice if, whether they agree with it or not, they still didn't just treat them with any disrespect or anything.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? Most of us are, in a way, immigrants. Our some of our grandparents or great grandparents came from other countries.
Yeah, exactly. So at some point down your ancestral trail, there's probably like a good likeliness that that your great however far down the line came to Canada or wherever you're living in right now.
Exactly. We're all one. We're human.
Yeah, exactly. Like nothing really should change that. And then you were saying that you have some of the silent auction items, and they're mostly art right now?
Right now we have some beautiful art, yes. But we're just starting to collect items, Braden. So it's hard for me to say what we have because I don't know yet.
Absolutely.
But I'm actually donating myself a basket of I make creative beachy type treasures.
Oh, cool.
So I'll make a big basket full of those. But what I'm hoping is that people will see your podcast and hear me on the radio and say, hey, you know what? I like what they're doing. I'd like to donate something awesome to
Absolutely.
the auction. That would be great. I'd be so appreciative of that.
Definitely. And what else is really cool is you're going to be on Shaw to talk about this. So
I am.
That's
This
also
is quite
really
the day
cool.
for me.
Yeah, which is crazy because like you're like going to be on TV. Like people who watch the news will see this stuff. Like
how much stress do I want in a day?
Literally though.
Although you make me feel very comfortable, Brett. Thank you.
That's the idea. Thank you.
Yes, so tonight I'll be on Shaw, the show it's called, with Kathy Trupp Holmes, who's interviewed me before.
That's cool.
With a story that I wrote for Chicken Soup, and so she'll be there. It's just a 5-minute thing, but I'll talk about that.
It's still 5 minutes.
Absolutely.
Like, right? Like that's still 5 minutes of time that, whether 10 people see it or 1,000 people see it, that's still like 5 minutes of like people. And so like those 10 people, 7 could be like, oh, this is really cool. Or of those 1,000 people, like 300 could be like, this is great. And then all of a sudden people start talking about it and then boom.
You never know.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Just have to put yourself out there. And she invited me, which was awesome. I didn't even have to bug her.
That's cool. Yeah, that's cool. That's good to know that the community's seeing what you're doing, and then they're starting to get behind it, and then that way they're going to help propel like this message out, and then you can only hope it's just going to it's going to be like a snowball effect, right, where it just gets bigger and bigger.
That's my dream.
Yeah.
That's my dream, Braden, and I really hope that, and I believe that in my heart. Because I think that when I drove to work that day and got this vision, sort of, right?
Yeah, like this just idea.
Yeah. I think there's a reason for it. I do. And I think it's needed, and I think we're in a like I said, in divisive times. And I think we need to hear more of this and see more of this.
Totally.
And I think we are. I mean, I'm noticing on TV, even shows that we enjoy, we hear more about kindness and, and the fact that we're all human, and I'm hearing more of it out there. So it's clearly the message for 2020, I'm sure.
Absolutely. And I think if you're looking for the kindness, you're going to find so much more than if you weren't. So I feel like if you're a very pessimistic person, you're probably not only going to see the pessimistic stuff. But if you're, just positive and just, you're not participating in anything negative, it's only going to just you're just going to be like, oh, that's really nice, that's really good. And then the message is just going to kind of keep hitting you in the face. Not
absolutely.
Not intensely or anything, but you'll just be like, oh, this is good to see.
I agree, and I think that's why I had to change my whole attitude from the ranting and anger of what I was seeing in the States to what can I do to twist this? How can I use this in a positive way?
Absolutely, right? Just 180 it, and then all of a sudden, now this message, what was a rant, not saying it was rude or anything, but you could tell it was not I don't know, maybe you were just, you were frustrated. Yeah, exactly. To the point where now it's just, people probably read this message and be like, oh, this is a super positive, powerful message.
Yes.
And then it probably hopefully inspires them to maybe look into it or see what they can do, or just honestly read that post and then walk away really happy. And then all of a sudden they could have been, since they're a little bit happier, they're doing, all of a sudden they're like, oh, doing something for going the extra mile, or just paying it forward.
Absolutely. In fact, I noticed that. some of the people in our group, we have a private brainstorming group on Facebook, and then we have our public page.
Yep.
And that helps us to keep people in the loop, and so we can plan things. Like we want to plan acts of kindness, creative acts of kindness.
Okay.
We're going to start a little task force to do that.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think that'll be really fun. We have a few plans in that direction, but I'm noticing that some of the people are putting more and more messages out there online about kindness and inclusion, and that makes me happy because I'd like to hope that I was a part of that, inspiring that.
Totally.
Right.
And like that's gonna, at the end of the day, like that's gonna feel really good, like knowing that this movement and was just all like, you're a big portion of like getting it going, and then just, it's nicer to see more people smiling than it would be to like see them looking miserable. Mm-hmm. So I think it's, from what you've told me, it seems like it's starting to gather some steam, and it's gonna sound like it's gonna really start to move forward pretty fast.
I think so. Thanks for saying that, Brayden.
Of course.
I'm now that I'm retired, I have the time to put into it that I didn't have before.
That's fair.
And so but again, like I said, now that I'm retired, of course, I'm busier than ever. But this is my passion, so it doesn't feel like work. Right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like you're just having so much fun doing this, and no one can take that away from you.
Absolutely.
Which is awesome.
And passion runs deep, and I think if you pay attention to what you're passionate about, then you have a better life.
Totally. Right?
Not everybody has that luxury. I'm very fortunate, right, that I can do that at this time in my life. But yeah, I just can't imagine a life where you can't follow your passion.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah, you can't, whether it at least be a side hustle or something. If you're not doing something that just absolutely drives you and like you're super passionate about it, then that, don't get me wrong, you can do it, but it just won't be as fun.
No.
So would you say your long-term goals would be to spread this across the world, or do you have
Absolutely, why not?
Yeah? Or what's your short-term, long-term goal?
Well, my short-term goal, I think, is just starting that task force.
Okay.
And so that we have specific things that we're planning. So what we're going to do is join up for coffee once a month.
Okay. Plan
something cool. A flash mob, for instance.
Well, those would be cool.
I've always wanted to do a flash mob. About kindness, though, right? And then we'll meet another time a month where we actually do whatever it is we've planned out in the community. So that's our short-term goal, is to have specific things that we're doing like that, and not just big events like our concert in the 22nd.
Yeah, exactly, because not everyone, say for example, can make like one event if it's like only once every 3 months, and then it's like, now they gotta wait 6 months for that, right? Like if
That's
it's just like, like today is, we're gonna go like just have like a big community soccer day or whatever, where obviously or whatever it is, maybe, right?
Well, maybe not soccer. You should see me playing soccer. That was hilarious. Oh my gosh. Not a good thing for me. Good thing. And my long-term goal, I want to be on the Ellen Show for one thing, and I'm going to take you with me.
All right.
So, because I think I love Ellen.
Who doesn't? Like, realistically though, like, who doesn't?
Who doesn't? Like, how can you not?
Yeah.
And because she represents, not because I want to be famous. I used to be like that, but not so much now.
That's kind of like everyone's dream as a child.
Well,
or like,
probably.
Right? Like, everyone wants to be successful and famous because it just seems so much fun, but no one understands, like, the stress or anything like that, right? Oh, yeah.
Even just coming here and going to Shaw, it was like a basket case. I haven't eaten today. Oh, wait, I did have one bar with my coffee, but that's it.
Good.
But I want to be on, the only reason I'm laughing about being on the Ellen Show.
But your message will be so much, it'll be so widely received,
it
right?
Will, and I want, because she does so many things out of her heart, and she reaches out to people with kindness, and she doesn't look down on people that are different.
No.
Right?
She literally treats everyone like they're the same. Like, she gives everyone the same benefit of the doubt.
Absolutely.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I interrupt. I'm terrible at interrupting. No, that's not my long-term goal. That's simply something I think would be very cool and I'd love to do. But my long-term goal is really just getting this out there. I'd love to see every city, every town,
absolutely,
starting a group like this where they're focusing on actual works of art. Works of kindness, acts of kindness.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
Planning them and getting it out there.
Yeah, it only takes like one act of kindness to like almost like someone could be having like the worst day, someone could do something for someone, and then it's like whole 180, their day is like changed. It's like, why would they did this for me, and then all of a sudden it just spirals, right? Like it just snowballs, it just goes, and then it's just all it takes. It's just one, and then
that's right. It can save their life for that matter, right?
Literally though, like you never know. You really don't know what everyone's going through.
You don't.
But if you can be that impact where you like, honestly, if you like, whether change their day, make their day even better than it already is, or whatever it may be, like.
That's what I think we're on this earth for.
Yeah, totally.
To learn to love others, right?
Yeah.
To reach out and to use our gifts we've been given to make a difference in the world. I think that's it.
I agree.
Right? And speaking of, we never know what people are going through. I used to be clinically depressed for years, Braden. And I was always a good actress. I could put on an act.
You put on like a good game face.
Oh, yeah. And I don't think even my closest friends, they might have suspected, but I don't think they knew.
And that's crazy, right? Because not everyone will tell people, and like because they're ashamed of it or they don't know what to do, and then people try to help them, and then they just get frustrated because it's like, you can't help me because you don't understand, and it's like, it's scary for those people that get like, because then they're just almost like lost.
Absolutely.
There's only so much you can do, but you're hoping that this kindness, this thing will just help them kind of see like, the brightest side of the situation and kind of be like, okay, it's not so bad, and maybe start like, just working on it and know that you're not alone. Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's what happens is, I think a lot of time, fortunately things are changing, I think, whereas there's not such stigma with mental illness. But I know when I was going through it, and I still struggle from time to time, but I'm really cautious when I start to see myself sort of slipping. I know now kind of what to do about that. But at the time when I was clinically depressed, I kept it all inside. I didn't let anybody know, and it made the crazy making much, much worse. And really, it was sad too, because there's probably all kinds of people, if I'd been honest about it, who would say, you know what, I'm going through that too. And gives them permission to say, I'm going through crap. Mm-hmm. I really am. And so I try to be real now. Like, I try to be real. I hope I'm real. I try to be vulnerable. I guess that makes sense. Right? Yeah. I try to be authentic, because it was something I say could, like we said, change somebody's life.
Absolutely.
Right?
Which is awesome. So, Micki, this is the part of the show called the motivational moment. How would you describe your passion in 5 words or less?
I would say speak up for the voiceless.
And why would you choose those words?
Did I warn you that I'm very emotional?
You did.
Oh dear. As I don't want to go into a big long spiel, but as a child, it wasn't the happiest home.
Fair enough.
I felt like I had no voice, which a lot of kids do, but it was a little more than that. There was intense control and anger and stuff.
Fair enough.
And I think that might be part of the reason I have a passion for this, because I know how it feels to have everything taken away, to have no control, no voice. And so I want people to be seen. I want them to be heard. I want them to know they're not alone, that there is somebody that cares.
Absolutely.
There's always somebody that cares.
Honestly, like, there's nothing better than talking. Some days there's nothing better than talking to a complete stranger about everything, because it's like, why not? And then when they like give you like a good genuine response and stuff, and then it's like, it can honestly change. It changes, right? Like, because you're giving your voice to that person where you feel like in other places you can't. So Absolutely. If anything, it's just like a step in the right direction.
Absolutely.
So that's really awesome. I'm sorry that I didn't mean to.
No, it's okay. You asked my husband. I cry at the drop of the hat. So, and I should tell you, my son Matthew, he's awesome. He gave me a cool birthday present.
Oh yeah, what did he give you? He
gave me a tattoo.
Ooh.
We have the same birthday, May 27th.
Oh, no kidding.
And he designed it for me. Can I show you?
Sure.
I gotta take off my. This is kind of awkward. But it's a megaphone.
Okay.
With a heart with a Band-Aid on it.
That's cool.
So you're speaking up for those that are hurt,
yeah,
right? The
absolutely.
broken. And because he asked me, what's your what's your favorite thing? Like, what would you like to represent? And I told him. So he designed that for me.
That's really cool.
So there you go.
That's awesome.
Good thing I shaved today.
Well, Micki, I wanted to thank you for coming on the show. It was a pleasure to have you.
Oh, thank you. It was a pleasure to meet you, Braden.
Absolutely. Where can the people find you? Like, where can they find Works of Heart or anything?
It's just worksofheartproject.com. Easy,
Okay.
simple. And on Facebook, Works of Heart Project.
Okay. And then I think Instagram is Works of Heart.
I think Instagram is WOH Project.
Okay.
Or is that Twitter? I get confused.
Either way, I'll double check.
I have an old brain. I have menopausal brain. Oh, pardon me. So Instagram. Oh, I don't even have it on here. Yeah, Instagram is Works of Heart Project.
Okay.
Twitter is WOH Project.
Okay, perfect.
See, I did use my notes.
Yeah,
once.
that's not bad. That's
Not
pretty
bad.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you like that episode, make sure you hit the subscribe button. You can check out the other videos. You can find me at Just Koryzma on anything. And make sure you like, subscribe. I already said that. And hope you guys have a great day and enjoyed this episode. Thank you.
And be kind.